Hello, Miss Marie. How are you?
Good morning, Rob. I am fantastic today. How are you?
I'm fine. Hey, did the audio portion on the intro work?
I did not hear the gentleman introducing, but I did hear the
That-
music.
That's what I'm talking about. There's something amiss here. Guys,
Is it Monday?
it is crazy what's going on. Yes, is it Monday? Good point. Good point. Guys, this is crazy. I logged in this morning. You guys got to realize that I'll set up our week prior uh, on a Sunday. Let's just say that. So I'll do Monday through Friday. I'll set everything up. I log in today and I notice they must have upgraded the software because things are different. And there were things loaded up. It's like somebody got in there and manipulated. And you know what that is, Miss Marie? That is the original intro without the voiceover that I used.
Oh.
I wonder if the exit works. Let's try it. Guys, bear with us a moment.
Thank you for listening to the
Okay, so that worked. Huh. Oh, I'll have to upload it. Who would have thought? I mean, my gosh. I didn't even think about trying it because I thought, okay, you know what? But there's a bunch of stuff missing. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Do you remember how excited we were on Monday when everything went smoothly for the first time in like 3 or 4 weeks? And now
and then now look, I jinxed it when I said that. Oh, and the brand color has changed. You know, down here with it surrounds it's charcoal, as you and I were talking. And see, we can do that. And I can change the color, but that doesn't matter. We don't care. We only bring this up because when you log in, you're like, what in the world's going on? And you remember, without dragging this on, do you remember all of the slide presentations we had? We
Yes.
did they're all gone.
Oh.
All of our ebook images are all gone.
Huh.
Miss Marie, did you go in there while I wasn't looking?
No, sir, I did not. I'm pretty sure I can come up with a clean alibi. That was not me. I did not do it. I did not change colors, delete things, change things.
Man, I tell you what, that's flipping. All right, enough of that crap. Today, we are going to be talking about a very important subject. And as you guys know, it is your why. Why are you building this business? But Miss Marie, this can also apply to just about any industry. But here's the thing. You guys want to stick around because we're going to talk about this is so important to your business. If you don't know your why, if you don't have a why, you are not going to make it in this business. We're going to tell you why you're not going to make it. We're going to tell you how to overcome that lack of why and what you can do to make sure you have your why in front of you so that you will stick with this business building process long term to do something special. So with that, Miss Marie, let's do our famous. There we go.
Well, hey, that's working.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that's working. Golly, boy. Anyway, there for the longest time, the gong wasn't working. We get that straight, and now this other stuff. But thank God I have all of that on my computer. So with that being said, Miss Marie, today's a good subject. It's something that you and I have heard probably since we've been in the business. I cannot imagine anybody that's in this industry that has not heard you have to know your why. I don't like that term per se. But I guess it's appropriate. But we're going to talk about it because so many people hear it when they join the business, right?
Well, yes, and I think it's one of those things where we try to be catchy and have some stickiness with what we're communicating to people so they remember it. So, what's your why is a simple way of saying, well, what's the reason for doing this business? Why are you getting involved in it? And it's such a foundational concept to have in place people need to know and understand the reasoning behind their involvement in the network marketing industry. And this is where I see a lot of people kind of fall flat in the early stages once they sign up, because oftentimes they've been approached by a friend or family member. They're excited. They catch that other person's passion. They might have a little bit of the vision of what the industry can do for them. And they dive into it with 2 feet without really understanding the business aspects of it, the time commitment that's truly required, the work effort that needs to go into it. Many people, unfortunately, come away with the impression that it's a quick and easy way to make money. And as you and I know, and we keep telling our audience, that is not the case at all. A business is a business is a business. It requires work, time, effort, persistence, that whole thing. And that's where your why or your reason for doing the business comes into play. Because if you just jump in, it's almost treated as a hobby. It's like, oh yeah, I'll play with this and see if it works out. It's kind of like, scratching the lottery ticket. Well, let's see if this actually makes me some money or not.
Yeah.
And as soon as people hit that point where the realization sets in that, oh, it's going to require time, effort, work, they stop, or they get frustrated, or they think it's not for them. And that is because they don't have the foundation built of why they actually want to do the business. What's going to motivate them to put in that effort, to spend that time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good points. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if you go to college. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. Drainage. If you go to college, Miss Marie, people are going to ask you why. Why are you going to college? What's your goal? What is your purpose? And everybody knows that if you're going to go to college, it's a minimum of 2 years just to get an associate's. It's easier to go to trade school, which I'm a big fan of. Trade schools teach people important skills where they can get a job right away. But you could say the same thing for the trade schools. Why are you going? Okay. And everybody has an end goal. And that's no different in network marketing. And I don't know why that term is used so much in the industry. It seems synonymous with the network marketing business. Why? What's your why? I heard that all the time, and I really didn't hear that anyplace else. Now, maybe I'm naive and not been exposed to it in the traditional work environment, but the point is I heard it all the time in the network marketing environment. And like I said, it became synonymous. So when somebody said it, you immediately knew, like you said, what they were saying. Why are you here? Why are you tapping into this business model? What is your end goal with this thing? And really that term, what is your end goal, is more descriptive to me. And that's what I would ask people, because it was to the point, when I would say, hey, what's your why? I would get some kind of, weird looks like, what do you mean? They weren't sure exactly what I was getting at, so the point is that it is a term that has been used a lot. I would say as long as I've been around. How about you? Has it been around that long?
Oh, yeah, it has. And I was going to say, the point you're making here is it is a little bit of insider terminology, I think, when it comes to network marketing and what's your why. I think people that have been involved in the industry for a while understand what the question is. But yeah, somebody new coming in, it's like, what's your why? What does that mean? And yes, the question really is, why are you getting involved? What's your end goal? What are you looking to achieve by taking on a network marketing business role?
Yeah. And the thing is, guys, here's the reason why it's so important. Look, if you don't know your why, you're not going to have the staying power that it's going to require for you to achieve the level of success that you want. You have to wake up every day either having that why or having that burn and that desire. And a lot of times the why gives you the burn and desire that's in your tummy that says, I will not be stopped. I am going to accomplish this goal, and I'm going to do it now and get it over with now, because I don't want to drag this out. We talked about grinders. Grinders don't survive in this industry. Now, as far as building a business that's profitable, okay, I want to clarify that, because there's no 100% true statement there. Because here's the thing, you can be, Miss Marie, you can be a grinder if you just want to make a couple $100s a month. Because, I mean, you can maintain a couple $100 a month. It's a few customers and including your own volume. You're not really doing anything. You're really building a base of customers. And that's easy to maintain long term, right? But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people that really want to tap into this and change their lives, not only because of the business model, but the money it creates allows them to achieve the lifestyle and freedom they want. So that's the people we're talking about, not being grounders. You cannot, if your goal is to change your life through the money so you can have a better lifestyle, you cannot afford to drag it out. Why? Because speed and urgency is essential in getting your business to gain traction so that it can develop that income and the leverage and duplication take place. Now, why is that important in this discussion? Because as we tell you, all things that we discuss interlace with one another. And the thing is that the why, you have to have that burn in your belly. And so when you write down what is the end game, what do you want to achieve, whether it's the money, the lifestyle, whatever it is, send my kids to school, you have to have a reason, a really strong reason, which ends up being your why, that motivates you to get up every day and do this business, even if you don't want to, even if you don't feel like it. Okay. Even when the things don't seem to be going your way. Okay. So you have to understand, guys, that your why is what's going to keep you going. Okay. And it doesn't matter whether it's college, network marketing, pursuing being a doctor. I mean, look at the years that lawyers go through in law school, medical students go through in med school, et cetera, et cetera. These careers that have a high demand time-wise, past 4 years, the traditional 4-year student, you realize that takes a lot of determination, a lot of focus, a lot of commitment. They have, and they do that because they have the why. They know why they get up and every day and continue to go to med school, continuing to incur debt, going to med school, law school, and et cetera, et cetera. You know what? And just like a business owner, why are you starting that business? Why did you get a business loan? You took on, $500,000 in debt. Why are you doing that? That's why people go out and try to build something on their own. Is because their why is so big, so strong, and it burns in their belly, and they can't hardly sleep. Most entrepreneurs, Miss Marie, don't have regular sleep patterns, as sad as it is to say. Right?
Well, that's true. Who was it? Was it Einstein or Edison? I don't remember which one of them it was, but it was almost like they'd take naps here and there. Like they'd get tired and they'd go take a 20, 30, 40-minute nap, and then they'd get up and be back at it again. To me, that's kind of crazy. My naps need to be a little bit longer than that.
Well, I must be in good company because that's me. You know me. I'll take an hour and a half nap and get up and right back at it.
Exactly.
So, and I'm not proud of that. I would much rather have a regular sleeping pattern. But you know what? There's only 24 hours in a day, and I got to maximize it. And I'm only one person. And so, I totally get what you're saying there and why they did what they did. And kudos to them. Does that mean that you guys are going to have to do the same thing? Nobody can answer that. Miss Marie and I would never advocate you not getting sleep. It's essential to you having a healthy lifestyle and living a long, healthy life. Okay. Now, I do sleep deprive myself every once in a while. This is not about me, but I promise you guys, I relax and I do eventually lay down because I understand the importance of getting proper sleep. Most people, I don't know if you know, Miss Marie, we're not going to get into the physical aspects of the body, but that's when your body repairs itself when you're asleep. And I think it's common knowledge. I think most people know that. So sleep is essential to staying young and healthy and vibrant and focused and things of that nature. I take no pride. I'm going to tell you right now, I take no pride in working the hours that I'm working. Okay. But thank God I have the freedom to do that. It's my choice. Okay. This will not continue because it's not healthy. But you, because you have the why, may have moments like that as well. Okay. You have to determine how strong that why is and how to control it. Because look, you don't want that why, once again, to push your family away. You don't want to lose your family because you're so motivated and so focused that you totally ignore what's really important in this life, and that is your family, your friends, and things like that. That doesn't mean that they need to deter you. And we had an episode about that. Okay, your roadblocks and things like that, how your friends and family can be roadblocks. But there is, like anything else, and like we talked about the other day, Miss Marie, communication's key. If you know you're gonna have to put hours in, you need to let your loved ones know that. You need to let your friends know that. Do not tell work. Okay. Do not, if you're doing something on the side, do not tell work. Go in like you always do. Okay. And just do your job. Keep your mouth shut. But the point is, you're going to have the why that's going to drag you through all that. And eventually, the momentum, Miss Marie, as you know, it will start picking up, and there'll be times where you think nothing's working. There's times where you think, my gosh, is it ever going to take off? Is it ever really going to get where I want it to go? And Miss Marie, it's like this, and it's sitting there spinning like that freaking video thing. You're trying to watch a video and it's buffering.
Yep.
It's sitting there going like that. And all of a sudden, guys, one day it'll start doing this. And for all you on the podcast, I'm making circles with my index finger and at various speeds because I want to indicate that you have the why, you're putting in the hours, you're putting in the effort, you're doing the right things consistently. It's just a matter of time, Miss Marie, because we talked about how everybody's success price is different. I cannot say I want to do what Miss Marie did, and she did it in 4 months, and it's taken me 8 months. I'm not a failure. That is my price. Okay. And matter of fact, if Miss Marie is with a company and she gets the diamond in 4 months, and then I go up on my 8th month to get my diamond pin, the company goes, you know what, you did all right. You didn't do it as fast as Marie. So instead of paying you $30,000 a month, we're only going to give you $15,000 a month because it took you 8 months. Company doesn't say that, guys. You know what? I get the same plaque, I get the same certificate, I get the same pin as she does. They don't care when you do it. The thing is, they're going to applaud and celebrate that you did do it. Okay. So you got to realize your why has got to be strong enough to drag you through that 8-month process, even though Marie is laughing at you and pointing at you because she did it in 4 months and you're taking 8. I know you would do that, Miss Marie.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's one of the dangers, though. I mean, we almost need to do an episode on that. Keeping the blinders on and not comparing yourself to
Oh my gosh, yes.
other network marketers, either in your company or anywhere else, because everybody's unique, right?
Yes.
But one of the things I want to talk about here is your why in general. Obviously we're talking about it in the network marketing context and your reason for doing the business and motivating you through. But if you look at it in a broader context, it applies to just about anything and everything you do, whether it's job related, family related, hobby related, the time you spend sitting on the couch binge watching your favorite Netflix show. There's always a why behind it. And oftentimes we don't necessarily consciously think about what that is.
Right.
Just an unconscious thing. We just do it because we always have, or it gives us some level of pleasure. I mean, let's take being the couch potato and binge watching Netflix. I don't think a lot of people sit down and quantify why they do that. Mm-hmm. Is it an escape because they're stressed out and they don't want to deal with other things in their life and they can just focus on the show? Is it an opportunity to relax for a minute? Like it's a deliberate thing? Is it a subconscious, nope, trying to avoid the world? I'm just gonna, I want time to go faster. I want to get to next week, whatever the case may be. I think a lot of what we do, there's motivation behind all of it, right? But we don't necessarily think about what it is. Mm-hmm. And the same can be true of network marketing. I'm sure there are people that have come in and they just, dig in and they go and they become successful without really verbalizing or formulating exactly what that why is that drives them. They just have this internal thing that goes. Yes. Meanwhile, there are other people that need to actually sit down and think about, hey, this is going to take time away from my family, my job, my hobbies, whatever it is, because it's a new thing I'm adding into my life. And like we talk about all the time, our lives are already busy, right?
Yep.
Most people, if they're in a state where they're satisfied with how their life is, how things are going, they're not going to add something else because they're just going to look at it as a stressor. But
Yeah.
if they can see the value of adding that network marketing business into their daily routine, there's got to be a reason, a motivation that's going to drive them to continue to do that and become successful. I mean, nobody goes into a network marketing business thinking, well, I'm just going to play around with this for a few months, spend a bunch of money and fail and then quit. That's my plan, right? I mean, nobody does that.
No. And you bring up a light bulb went off, which rarely does in my head, but a light bulb went off because you said something that just eliminated uh, every person's attitude when they come into the network marketing business model. You and I talked about how even people that are not, they've heard of network marketing and not really familiar with it, but the moment that they really sit down through a friend or whatever and look at the business model for what it is, a light comes on, and all of a sudden they get it, and they're like, "Hey, I can get freedom here. Hey, I can create it." They get it. You know what I'm saying? Without us really promoting that, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" They see what everybody else sees, and you know what? That motivates them. And she just talked about it, that when they come into the business, I don't know anybody says, "No, I just want to build a small business." You know, I just want to sell the product. Rarely, even the product people, Miss Marie, come in with visions of grandeur, of this incredible lifestyle and this incredible business they're going to build through the product. You're right. I really never sat down and thought about it that way. But when you said that, as I look back very quickly, almost every person I brought in, regardless, even when I really didn't know what I was doing, they got it. And their goal was hey, what do I got to do? And they were shooting for the big time. They thought, well, hell, if I'm going to do this, so let's do it right. So that's a very good point, and one I rarely would have thought of on my own. I'll blame that on age. But anyway.
Well, and even the product-based people, right? They may not come in thinking about the financial gain for them and building the big business. They're focused on the product, but what they get passionate about is all the people they can help by sharing this product, the positive effects it can have on the people in their lives that they already know that need it, even the people that don't. They're looking to have that interpersonal impact, that service to their friends, family, community, whatever the case may be. So they're just they're coming at it from a different angle, but by no means are they coming in and thinking, yeah, I'll share it with a few people and maybe it'll work for them, and then I'll get distracted and go do something else after a few weeks because
exactly. And that's the thing, is that everybody, regardless of the reason they come in, pretty much share the same vision, I would say, for the most part. Obviously, we can't say that 100%, but I would say that almost without fail, being around the network marketing business for as long as I have, and I talk to everybody. I always talk about the professional business builders and leaders that I've been around. But I mean, obviously, I spent a lot of time with the masses, the network marketing masses, the people that were trying to make it. And almost without exception, I can't think of one at this moment where somebody said, "No, I don't want to." Like I said, I'm just goofing off, and I know I just want to make, $10 a month or whatever. I can't ever remember that. So everybody shares. From my experience, most people share the same vision, regardless of how they come in. So, guys, there again, you got to realize everybody has a different why, and they have a different level. Miss Marie brought up a point a moment ago, and she's right. There are people, and I can think of 3 or 4 right off the top of my head, they have this internal motor that never quits, and they never have to sit down and say, "Well, is this really what I want to do?" Whatever they choose to focus on for whatever reason, extreme type A personalities, they're just motivated. They say, "Hey, that's what I want to do," and they go. And a lot of people stand back and go, "Gosh, isn't that great? I wish I could do that." It's something that they're born with, and I don't know how to explain it. Most of us have to sit down and say, and I wouldn't say convince ourselves, but say, "Hey, is this going to give me what I want?" And once you realize it is, which there again is most of us, then that burn in your belly starts to develop. You're like, "Hey, I can see real possibilities here. This is what I've been looking for. I think I can really make this thing go." And that is the motivation, that why, that gets you up off the couch and start you pursuing that end goal, whatever it may be. Now, Miss Marie, the why at the same time can burn out very quickly, and you know I've seen it. Somebody gets really excited and they go like crazy, and we talked about this in a prior episode. But guys, they have a strong, intense why, and they'll last a month, they'll last 6 weeks, and all of a sudden they're gone. Miss Marie gave her own personal testimony about similar situations in her networking career. And the bottom line is that you just have to let those people be those people. You can't pull back on the reins on those people, and you can't raise them from the dead when they disappear. And Miss Marie, they disappeared just as fast as they appeared when they join your business. It's amazing, but it happens, and it happens a lot. And we need to bring it up in this episode because they do have an intense why. However they created that, they have it. But guys, there are certain people that are going to burn out. And Miss Marie, you gave a great story one day where you followed up with a couple of people and said, you have such great potential. Why did you quit? You know why, Miss Marie? That why wasn't strong enough to carry them through.
Well, that's often it, or oftentimes, depending on what a person's why is, what motivates them, they can get distracted also, right? That shiny object syndrome.
Yep.
They can be off to the next thing because, they're a few weeks in and they're realizing, oh, this is going to take time and effort. Oh, this looks easier. I'm going to go here, squirrel, and off they go. So, there's a combination of things that can happen there.
That's exactly right. Or a spouse gives them a really hard time, or their friends put a lot of pressure on them. There's a lot of reasons, but their why wasn't strong enough. It doesn't matter the reason. The why was not strong enough. Okay. And we're going to talk about how you can maintain your why here in a moment, but we're giving you different scenarios. The point is, there are certain people that have that internal why that never goes out. That flame never stops. I don't care if they're going to be a NASCAR driver. I don't care if they're going to be a fisherman. I don't care if they're going to be a tennis player. It doesn't mean they're going to be the world's best. What it means is they're going to go and whatever they choose to do. And I'm jealous of them sometimes. They just focus and bam, off they go. Okay. We talked about that person. Now we're talking about somebody that comes in and lights the world on fire for 4 or 5 weeks, and then they're gone. You never hear from them again. You're also going to have those people that are going to stick around for 4 or 5, 6 months. They have a medium-sized why. That why is strong enough to do their 90-day mini blast. It's strong enough to get them past that process, but there's always something that comes in and kind of steals that why away, or it just naturally burns out. They realize, as she said, this is too much work. This is too much time. This is not really what I want to do. That's their prerogative. Remember, 1/3 will do it now, 1/3 will do it later, 1/3 will never do it. Okay. So the bottom line is, guys, everybody's going to stop at their own level. Miss Marie, you remember the episode we talked about the scale of life where everybody has a different level where they quit?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And when I use the word quit, I don't mean they quit the business. Some people are going to stop. We talked about this at $1,500 a month. Some people are going to stop at $700 a month. In other words, stop building. Their why has been satisfied. Okay. And as we told you, you don't try to turn a 5 into a 10. I'm bringing up a lot of past episodes here. And we did that episode as well, because you're going to end up missing out on a superstar. You're going to miss out on sponsoring a superstar if you try to force somebody who has said $700 a month is good enough. And you're calling them and you're emailing them and you're texting them, hey, why did you stop? You had the ball rolling. You know what? It's okay to do one initial call or text, whatever like that. Say, hey, Marie, what's going on? Is everything okay? Be professional, be polite. It's her business. It's her life. If she wants to stop at $700 a month, that's great. Doesn't hurt to follow up and do one follow-up and find out, because she may need help or she may be distracted. She may be in the hospital. Okay. There could be something going on. There's nothing wrong with contacting them, but just be polite and ask a simple question. Accept the answer and don't re-email them. Don't re-text them and say, you need to keep going before the minimum slows. That is up to them. Marie knows the business. You trained her right. She knows about momentum. She knows the danger of slowing down. If that's what she chooses, leave her alone so you can do what? Focus on the next person. We talk about that all the time. Keep moving forward. Don't go backward. Don't try and drag somebody across the finish line. Don't try to raise the dead. Okay? And you say, why is that important about this subject? because Marie's why was satisfied at $700 or $1,500 or $2,000, whatever it was. And remember, Jim Rohn said, let the 5 be the best 5 it can be. Don't try to take that 5 and make it a 7. You'll kill yourself in the process trying to do it. That's so true. So the reason I bring it up is that Marie did not burn herself out in the first 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. Marie had enough why. And she really thought when she started, she wanted a big business. But as time went along, her why was adjusted internally. Okay. Sometimes without her really realizing it, because she turned around, she said, you know what? I got a really nice balance here. I'm spending time with the family. We got $700 or $1,500 extra coming in. My business is stable. I pretty much have done what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted more, but you know what? I'm really comfortable here. And if you harass her, you're going to push her away and piss her off, and she may end up leaving. Okay. You want to maintain a professional, polite relationship. So if she decides one day, you know what, I want to take this to the next level, that she feels comfortable contacting you and saying, hey, will you help me take it to the next level? Okay. That's what you want to do. Always love them and leave them. Okay. So accept her at the $700 level, focus on sponsoring more high quality people, and allow your business to grow with those people, and let Marie be what she is. Because her why was medium range. Her why was not high range. Does that make sense, Miss Marie?
It does make sense. I think that's an excellent point to make and include here too. So, Rob, I would say what the question people probably have on their mind at this point is, how do they go about identifying their why? How do they identify that thing that's really going to motivate them and allow them to long-term pursue their dreams and goals?
Well, and that's a great question. Shame on you for bringing that up.
Well, you said we were going there next. So.
And you're going to be surprised by the answer, and so is everybody else. Look, your why, it's not about material things. I will tell you right now, Miss Marie, most of the people that are focused on the material things are going to burn out sooner rather than later. It is usually more times, well, almost in the 90% range. It's well in the 90% range. Miss Marie, that people want the freedom. They want the money gives them options. And I hear that all the time with the serious people when they have big whys. When at the end of the day, and they'll tell you, they'll say, you know, the material things are nice. I get to share that with my family. You know, we were able to move into a nicer neighborhood. We were able to send our kids to nicer schools. We were able to have dependable vehicles. They did not deny those things. Okay. But what they said at the end of the day, I got to be a parent. I got to be able to enjoy life. I got to play golf, and I really enjoy that. Or I got to do this with my family. You know, in other words, my mom or dad. It was always something outside of the material things that created that huge why for them. And without exception, if you are going to sit down and look at this business model, you're going to have to really look at what you really want. Because I'm going to tell you, if it's focused on the material things, you're really going to struggle to maintain your why. I'll tell you that right now. It's the lifestyle, Miss Marie, that typically drags people, and that's a terrible term to use, terrible word. Motivate is the better, because they're certainly not dragging. That's what motivates them. That's what gets them up every day, because once again, they realize the money gives them options, the options they don't have now, and the options they may not have in any other way outside of this business model. Does that answer your question?
It does. And actually, I want to go back and highlight a story you've told in the past. I believe it was Richard Call, when he gained all his money, time, freedom, that whole thing. Wasn't it him? His wife became ill.
Yeah.
And it gave him the time, freedom, and the ability to care for her in the best way possible, because he had the financial resources, he had the time freedom,
Right.
they had the lifestyle that allowed for that. And I think you're absolutely correct. One of the things I've heard people say on occasion, and I'll be honest with you, it's a little touchy-feely for my taste, but I've heard people say, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not going to be big enough.
And I've never heard that before, but that's interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not a particularly emotional person, and I
Right.
think it probably impacts women much more than it is going to do men.
Right.
When you start talking about the things you can do for your family, you think about working mothers, even working fathers. I mean, they're missing their children growing up. They're missing the first steps. They're missing that first word, the first bike ride, whatever happens. They're not the ones that get to interact with their children throughout the day typically, because
Yeah.
what are most people doing? They're working that 9 to 5 job that's really more like a 7 to 6, the bulk of the day, and they're missing those things that you can't really put a price tag on, right?
Yeah.
Those interpersonal interactions with friends, with family, special projects, charities you want to contribute to, an impact that you want to have in the world. It can be a number of different things. It's like, yes, the initial motivation may be to get that Maserati because you've wanted a car like that for your entire life, but once you have that, then what?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
The things that impact people the most when it comes down to it aren't those material things. Are they nice? Absolutely.
Yep.
Can they help people? You know it. I mean, you and I both know, money, I would rather have the problems that money brings
Yes.
and have the options that allow me to do different things than be in the same situation without the financial resources,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
But it really is identifying that personal motivator that's really going to keep you going long term. Short term, it could be the material thing. Short term,
Yep.
it could be a particular dollar amount because that's what's going to cover your mortgage or
That's right.
allow you to pay off your debt or whatever it happens to be. But long term, there's got to be something else there, something much deeper and much more personal. And it's not the same for everybody.
No.
And you cannot look at someone else's motivation and say that's silly, because for you it may be, but for them it means the world.
Absolutely.
And that's what's important. It's what motivates that person.
And that's a very well put. And you brought up a point, guys. You have to realize that you have a situation where your why is bigger than your dreams. Okay, you may dream to have a Maserati. Nothing wrong with that, and that's awesome. And you should, if you believe in dream books or putting a picture of a Ferrari on your fridge or mirror, whatever, kudos to you. I've done it. Okay, with my sports cars, but I didn't do it for the reason that you think. That was not what motivated me to go out and do the business. Okay, you have to realize, and she's right, the Maserati can get you off the ground. The Maserati could get you past an initial point, but long term, you better have a bigger why, because I'm going to tell you that's not going to work. And there are people out there that have, you nailed it, Miss Marie. They'll have an immediate why. We need a new car. We can't afford it. I can't work any more hours. I'm already putting in 14 hours a day, working 6 days a week. And if you have 2 or 3 or 4 kids, that's the kind of life you have. You're working your tail end off, trying to make the money to support that size of family. Okay. And your most important thing, you have a home, but by golly, you need either an extra car or you need one that's more dependable, because the one you have is on its last legs. Okay. And your why is very strong. It's very big. And you know what? You're not thinking about a Maserati. I can promise you that. You're thinking, what do I have to do to get my monthly income up to $300, $500, $700 a month, so I can pay the insurance on this vehicle, so I can have a down payment, and so I can afford the monthly payments on it. And she's right. That will be an intense why right out of the gate. But long term, once you get that car and you take a deep breath and say, thank God that worked out, then guess what? You're going to have to sit down once again, and you're going to have to look and say, why do I want to keep going forward? What is it that's out there for me through this business model that will motivate me to continue on? Okay. And some people's why, Miss Marie, is they want to finish what they started. It's that simple. It was for me. Once I got it going, I was scared to death to stop, to be honest with you. Because I thought, oh shit, I got it going. What do I do? And my people just said, relax, Rob, just calm down. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't think about it. Don't get up every day thinking about it. Don't get up every day being afraid of it stopping. Just get up every day and do what you've been doing. I was like, okay, I can do that. But it does. It scares the crap out of you. Once you get it going, you're thinking all these horrible things that could happen to slow it down, and you can't worry about those things. You just have to keep, going forward and focus on the positive aspect of it. And then what's the positive part? You can only control what you control, okay, which is your actions and your mind, your attitude. That was it, And so, not to get off on a tangent there, but the point is, once you get to the goal that you have established with that immediate strong why, there's another, how would you say, phase that you're going to have to sit down and see if your why is strong enough to take you on through to the big time. And only you can answer that. There's no wrong answer there. The one thing you will not hear from Miss Marie and I is us knocking anybody because they determine that $700 a month is okay. That $300 a month is okay. That's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And I can promise you, if you ever met us in person, we look you right in the eye and shake your hand or bump your elbow, whatever you want to do, and say, that's awesome. Congratulations. Because that's an accomplishment. Is it not, Miss Marie? It is.
Oh, it's an accomplishment to make any money in network marketing.
Yes.
You'd be surprised the number of people that come into this business and actually don't make any money whatsoever.
And that breaks my heart.
Because they're being taught the wrong things.
Yes,
right?
there it is.
The fact is, if you're making any level of income on a monthly basis in a network marketing business, you are a success.
Yes, absolutely. Miss Marie, we did an episode on getting your first check.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be a standard video, training video for any organization. Guys, if you're out there trying to build a business, you need to go and look at that episode because that's one of the most important episodes we did. We talked also, Miss Marie, about another one that's really important, small steps to success. And it's targeted towards people that are just getting started and who want to make their first check. Okay. And we talked about how your initial goal should be getting 5 people in your business doing 100 PV, right? Including yourself. So there's 5 in your downline doing 100 PV. That's 500, including yourself is 600. You look at the comp plan when you're getting ready, like if I sign Miss Marie up today and she says, Rob, I want to make $300 a month. And that's her goal. My goal is to help her do that, to show her how to do it, not just help her. Okay, Marie, I'll help you. No, you know how you help her? You show her. What's that old saying? Teach a man to fish. Well, that's what you're doing. You're showing her how she, not you, how she can do or make $300 a month. Okay. And you have the comp plan right there. Okay. And you tell her, once you show her, you say, hey, if you have any problems, I'm here for you. Okay. If you want to do 3 ways, I'm here for you. Okay. You don't do it for her. You're working as a team because you're now partners. And the thing is, Miss Marie, based on the comp plan that you're using, what is it? You're going to create, you get paid on volume. So if you're using the threshold of profitability and you have 5 people doing 100 PV per month, guys, you're on your way based on the comp plan of achieving $300 a month. Now, I'm not saying that only 5 people doing 100 PV each, including you doing 100 is 600, is going to create $300 in monthly income. What I'm doing is showing you how simple the first steps are to achieving that $300 income level. Because once Miss Marie sees that, she's, oh, that's easy. That was easy. Okay, I just got to do that again. And so now she sees and understands how to get, and she says, oh, I have to create, let's say, 1,500 PV per month in my business. It may take her a couple of months to do that because she's new. She's getting her feet under her. She's making some mistakes. She's got a learning curve, but she's sticking with it. Her why is strong enough. And you know what? She says, all I got to do is get to 1,500 PV per month, and I'll make $300 a month. I already did 5 people. I've already created 500. I can do this. That's what I'm talking about, guys. So, Miss Marie, we know how important it is to get people off on the right step and making that first check. Guys, go and listen to that episode. Man, I'm telling you, that is powerful. If you use that as a training tool, you are going to have a strong business. And Miss Marie, there's one number. We always talk about You can never change the numbers. There's 97.3 and in almost every industry, including network marketing. What you have to do is decide you want to be a part of the 3 to 5% club. Okay, that's what it is. Because you can't change the numbers. You can't save the world. Each person is responsible for their own success. You cannot change them. It's the reason why we tell you to move forward and never go backward trying to drag somebody across the finish line. Your job is to look for what? The 3 to 5%ers and work with them because they're motivated, they're focused, they want what you want. It's easier to work with them. Okay. But it all starts with what? The first few steps where they say, this works. Even if I got a $10 check, $25 check, Miss Marie, is that not correct? Because people just light up like a light bulb when they get their first check.
Yep, because that first check shows them, I mean, it's a physical representation of this works.
Yep.
It's something they can take and they can show their spouse, they can show the
right.
doubters among their friends and family members if they've been communicating with them and they've gotten a little bit of flack or whatever. They have something that shows it's proof that it works.
Absolutely. And not only that, it proves to you internally, it validates you. Hey, I am good at this. Hey, I can do this. Because some people might not have ever been good at making money in their life and maybe never owned a business. And so it increases their confidence in themselves. And most importantly, guys, what it does, it increases Marie's belief in Rob that he knows what he's doing and he, in fact, is there for her. And that bond is strong. Okay. And that bond can lead to a lot of success for both of you. Okay. So go back and listen to that episode, take notes. That is one of the most powerful and insightful podcasts we've done. And that's getting the first check, if I'm not mistaken. Is that not right, Miss Marie?
That sounds like the title. It's something about getting the first check.
Right.
It has got to be in the title. First check is definitely in the title.
Yes. And it lays out in a very simple form how to do it.
Yep, absolutely. So, Rob, as we're kind of coming towards the end of this episode, one of the things I wanted to touch on for folks is how you go about identifying your why. There's, again, we've talked about the fact that it's personal. Everybody's going to be different, but some of you may be wondering, well, how do I figure out exactly what my why is? And again, because it's personal, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. I mean, you may be able to sit down and think, oh, it's about supporting my family. That's going to be the driving factor. That's simple. For other people, maybe it's not quite as easy. So I had 3 things I wanted to mention as potential for helping you identify your why. May work for you, may not, but at least it will give you a place to start. The first thing to take a look at is, what are the things that you do in your life that make you light up? What are your passions? What really gets you engaged is the thing that makes you jump out of bed in the morning and go, I'm ready to go, let's go. Those passions, those things that really light your fire may be, foundational to what your why is and help you identify that. Another thing I've heard people do, and this is one of those things, it hasn't worked for me. It can work for some people. Maybe it'll work for you. And that is sitting down and visualizing what your life would look like if it went exactly the way you wanted to, like your dream life. What would that look like? Where do you live? What kind of job do you have? What do you do for fun? What kind of trips do you take with your family? All these kinds of things can lead you to identifying what your why is. And then finally, one of the things I've heard, and this sounds a little bit morbid to some people, but it's almost like writing your own eulogy. How do you want to be remembered? What is your legacy going to be once your life is over? So that's kind of the ultimate, what you did for the world, what you did for your family, things that you accomplished. And maybe that can help you work backwards from there to identify your whys. So those are just a few ways to help you identify what that why is, because again, it is so foundational, fundamental to you having a successful business and being able to maintain and continue and push through those tough times when you get up in the morning and it's like, Oh, it's time to do some prospecting. Oh, I got to do some follow-ups. While it can be exciting, there are some days it's a drag, right? Rob, you've had it where you get
Oh,
up and
gosh.
the day is just a slog. So
Oh,
you need that motivation, you need that that thing that's going to light the fire and help you get through the day when you're just not feeling it.
yeah, yeah. And Miss Marie, that is a great example. I've heard people say that before, and I totally get it. Write your own eulogy. I totally get it, and I think that's an awesome idea because it'll work for some people. I've never done it, but I can see the real value in it, and I mean that sincerely. Additionally, guys, you have to realize if you guys are the type of person and you listen to our podcast and you say, okay, you know what? And they have their why and they're motivated and they take off and guys, and you have that why burning bright inside of you and you're afraid to slow down. You're afraid to that why is going to go away and you're just scared to death. You're creating undue stress and anxiety in your life because you're afraid that why is going to go away. Now, every person's different, as she said. You got to really monitor that because you're going to hear these words that we're speaking echoing in your head as you build your business, and you're going to convince yourself, I can't slow down. We just touched on that just a moment ago. Guys, just be consistent. That's the reason why what we teach is so important. What the most important thing you need to do if you find yourself getting stressed out and anxiety setting in is this: CCBBA. Guys, just be consistent. Okay. Don't kill yourself in the process. The momentum's not going to slow down if you're doing CCBBA. Okay. And some days are going to be better than others. She just talked about it. We're not machines. Marie and I had bad days. We had non-productive days. Okay. We had days where we walked away, I'm sure, saying this business sucks. I'm never going to build this business. Screw this. There are days where you're going to feel that way. That's normal. And don't stress out over it. Just say, you know what, today really sucked. I'm going to go out and sit by the pool, or I'm going to go to the pool with the kids, or I'm going to, go out and play badminton. I mean, whatever. Okay. Just go out and relax. And you know what? The next day, what do? You get back on the horse and do what? CCBBA. If you just keep telling yourself CCBBA, that's going to teach you automatically to do this, the 5 simple steps. And you're going to have really great days, and then you're going to have really good days, and then you're going to have good days, and you're going to have bad days. Well, I'll tell you something. The good days, the very good days, and the great days are going to outnumber the bad days because of CCBBA. So don't stress yourself out. Don't be afraid of the flame going out. Just get up every day and look. I don't care if you write it on a wall. I don't care if you write it on your mirror. Whatever it takes to keep that in front of you. And if you write the word lifestyle, if you write the word family, whatever it is, like she said, is your why. When you look at that, you say, you know what? I just got to maintain and do CCBBA. That's all I got to do. And just let the stress go, guys. Stay focused. It's a long game. And I don't mean a year. That's not what I'm saying. It's a long-term game. There's a reason why 90 days is so important. There's a reason why we promote it. There's a reason why it works in thirds. And if you will understand that we teach the 90 days for many reasons, but one of the most important ones is human beings most of them don't have the staying power. 90-day goals are very achievable for people. Miss Marie, if you change your eating habits over 90 days, they say that typically you develop a new habit and it'll be a new habit for the rest of your life. Is that not true?
I have heard that, yes.
And on many things, not just that. Guys, there's a reason why different industries promote 90-day cycles. There's a reason why companies use quarters. Okay. It is no different here. You own a legitimate business. And if you can focus for 90 days and really give it an honest effort with CCBBA, your flame, your why should be strong enough to get you to that 90-day mark. Would you not agree, Miss Marie?
I would agree. And I have to tell you, Rob, I'm sitting here chuckling a little bit because you keep saying CCBBA, and I'm hearing that as a bit, it could be like a meditation mantra. CCBBA, CCBBA. And for those of you out there going, what in the world is this CCBBA that he keeps talking about? It is consistent and correct business building activities, CCBBA. So
Good point. And what is CCBBA? It's the 4 steps of the 5-step process. Because step number 5 is, in fact, CCBBA. Step number 5 reminds you to repeat steps 1 through 4. So there you go. It's that simple.
again, the repetitive mantra.
There it is.
There it is.
That, your stress and your anxiety, all that should be at a minimum as possible. And without putting the focus on myself, and before I forget, on one of a few episodes, remember I told you I was really afraid that I lost my watch. Well, I found my Frank Mueller watch, which I rarely wear. And for all of you that don't know, that is a watch by the world famous Frank Mueller. And I found it for $1, believe it or not, in a very expensive part of Louisville here during an estate sale. And it's $23,000 watch. It's called the Conquistador, if you want to look it up. So I found it. So, I mean, obviously most people would be like, oh my gosh, a $23,000 watch, where did I lose it? And just to let you know, guys, I fell asleep and it fell off of my arm on the couch. And it was under the couch, believe it or not.
Well, it's a good thing you found it, because that's like wearing a car on your arm there, Rob.
It's boy, it's heavy. I don't particularly care for the design. I rarely wear it. But I wanted to show people that I did in fact find it. All right, so
Big,
I
big sigh of relief.
It was, and I found it like 2 days after we had that episode. Not that it's important, we were talking about it, but I found it like 2 days. You know, my dad used to get so upset at me. He'd be like, "Boy, why in the world did you keep that much money in your checking account?" And this is before identity theft and people getting into banks and stuff like that. You know, and I would keep a lot of money in the bank. And I said, well, Dad, I might need it, you know, if I want to buy a car or whatever, this and that. And he used to get upset at me. He said, why did you want to live on the expensive side of town? I said, Dad, come on. I work hard. Why not, pamper myself a little bit? Why do you have all those expenses? I mean, he was constant. He was a millionaire. And he could not fathom why I did the things I did. So and I would lose my wallet, okay? And I know this is getting all weird, a little personal story. I'd lose my wallet. And I wouldn't care. I used to carry cash, and I quit doing that because I'd spend it if I carried it. But I'd have $300 to $400, which wasn't unusual for most people when cash was king before credit cards really took off. I'm sure your dad did, et cetera, et cetera. And so I would lose my wallet. My dad, he'd get up, it'd worry him sick. He'd get up and go through checking my car and go in here. I can't find your wallet. I said, Dad, don't worry about it. He said, but I said, Dad, that's okay. It can be replaced. I said, look, it's my fault. It's my responsibility. It's not yours, but the whole point of that is I have a history of losing things. And if he was here and knew that I lost that watch, he'd be over here going through the house looking for it. So thank God I found it. Okay, Dad.
That's funny. Well, and that's a perfect example of what we talked about today, right? Your dad wanted to know why you're doing things.
Yes.
And you had your reason, you had your motivation, you had your why that worked for you that your dad did not understand. So
yeah.
I think, in kind of wrapping up this episode, again, it's foundational to being able to be successful in your network marketing business. It's going to be foundational to be successful in any aspect of business or anything that you do. You have to be able to identify your why. It has to really resonate with you. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about it. It's your why. It's your motivation. It's what's going to help you get through the tougher times and achieve that end goal that you're after. Is that not accurate, Rob?
That is absolutely accurate. That's perfect way to end the show. All right, guys, we're going to quickly go through this so we can get you out of here. As always, if you will, please share, like, and comment on our various social media platforms with our fellow network marketers across the globe. When you do that, you're helping them get access to this empowering information, and this information could turn their business and their lives around, and you can be a positive part of that process by sharing, liking, and commenting on our content, especially the sharing part. And as you know, you can use the hashtag #TheMLMSolution, hashtag #TheMLMSolution to find us on our various social media platforms. Also, if you will, go to our YouTube channel. We, as you know, every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we stream live to YouTube and Facebook. But if you go to our YouTube channel, please subscribe and please register by hitting the bell twice for notifications. So when we go live or upload content, you will be notified. Additionally, if you like our content, either during the show or afterwards, please give us a thumbs up, a heart, a dancing bear, whatever it is, so that we know that you appreciate the content we're sharing with you. Additionally, please go to our website, themlmsolution.net, themlmsolution.net, and you can, as I said, find us utilizing the hashtag #TheMLMSolution. Miss Marie, I think that's about it. Tomorrow we have what? Podcast number? Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Podcast number 36, which is going to be how network marketing fits in your overall game financial plan. How network marketing fits in your overall financial planning. And that is an important one. Once again, that's a subject matter, Miss Marie, that no one else will talk about. And it does fit into your financial future. And that's the reason why a lot of people join network marketing in the first place, because they need help or they need to booster their financial situation. So this is a great subject that, once again, you are not going to learn or hear about anyplace else. And it's going to empower you to put together a wonderful financial game plan. You don't want to miss it. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, Miss Marie, I think we got everything covered, do we not?
I think we do. I'm excited for our episode tomorrow. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
That's right. Bye, everybody. See you later.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.